Listen up. If you missed it before, this is your wake-up call. Life doesn't wait for the perfect timing, and neither do opportunities. I'm launching live. Again, not for show, not for applause, but because real growth waits for no one. And today, I'm here to make sure you don't miss out. Again, here's the truth most people ignore. Success isn't about luck, talent, or waiting for permission. It's about showing up again and again. Every time you take action, even when scared, even when unprepared, you're moving closer to the person you were meant to become. If you're still waiting, that moment is right now. Success doesn't wait for anyone. It doesn't care about your excuses, your doubts, or the fear that's holding you back. The moment you decide to act is the moment you step out of the crowd and start building something that belongs to you. Something real, tangible, and unstoppable. Too many people sit on the sidelines watching opportunities pass them by thinking that waiting for the perfect moment will somehow guarantee success. Here's the hard truth. There is no perfect moment. There's only now, and the decision to take action in this very moment is what separates those who succeed from those who remain stuck. Action is everything. You can have the best ideas in the world, the smartest strategies, the clearest vision, but if you don't act, nothing happens. Sitting and planning endlessly will never get you closer to your goals. Waiting for the stars to align, waiting for the economy to improve, waiting for someone to give you permission, these are just ways to stay comfortable in your current situation. Growth happens when you decide to do, not when you wait. Every successful person you admire has a story of taking imperfect action repeatedly. They didn't wait until they were ready, they became ready by doing. Taking action requires courage because stepping into the unknown is uncomfortable. You will fail. You will make mistakes. You will look foolish at times. But every single time you act, you gain feedback, experience, and clarity. Action creates results, and results create learning. Every launch, every attempt, every bold step forward is an opportunity to refine your skills, adjust your approach, and grow stronger. Growth is not a straight path. It's a series of iterations. You launch, you learn, you improve, you launch again. And over time, those repeated actions compound into massive progress. The fear of failure is what holds most people back. They think if they fail, they will lose credibility, money, or respect. But here's the reality: failing while taking action is far more valuable than doing nothing at all. Every failure teaches you something that no amount of research or planning can. It forces you to confront reality, to see what works, and to discover what you are truly capable of. Inaction is silent, invisible, and deadly to dreams. Taking imperfect action, even when it scares you, is the fastest path to clarity, skill, and results. Consistency is another secret most people overlook. It's not enough to act once or twice. Success demands repeated effort, day after day, launch after launch, decision after decision. Every time you take action, you build momentum. Every time you overcome hesitation, fear, or doubt, you strengthen your confidence. Momentum is a force that compounds over time. Small, consistent steps create a rhythm that makes bigger, bolder moves easier. Waiting for the perfect moment destroys momentum, while repeated action amplifies it. Finally, taking action is about ownership. Success is not something handed to you, it is something you claim. No one owes you a breakthrough. No one is responsible for your growth. The moment you take responsibility for your life, your decisions, and your results is the moment you reclaim control. Launching, doing, and showing up consistently proves to yourself that you are serious about your goals. It proves that you will not be deterred by fear, hesitation, or setbacks. It proves that your ambition outweighs your comfort. Action, consistency, courage, and ownership, these are the building blocks of success. Waiting achieves nothing. Planning without execution is meaningless. Every attempt, every launch, every decision matters. The person you become by taking action today is far different from the person who hesitates. Don't wait for perfection. Don't wait for approval. Don't wait for permission. Take action now. Launch. Fail.
Learn, grow.
Repeat, because the only way to build the life you want, the success you deserve, and the future you dream of is to act relentlessly, unapologetically, and without hesitation. Consistency is the secret weapon that most people overlook when it comes to building success. It's not flashy, it's not glamorous. There are no headlines, no instant recognition, and no quick fix. But consistency is the engine that transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. If you want to grow, if you want to achieve success that lasts, you cannot rely on one big breakthrough or a single lucky opportunity. You need to show up again and again, every single day. Showing up consistently is what separates the people who talk about success from the people who actually achieve it. Most people think talent or genius is enough. They think that a single brilliant idea or a one-time effort will be enough to create lasting impact. But it never is. One action can spark change, But it's repeated action over time that builds momentum, mastery, and results. Consistency compounds. Every small step you take, every daily effort you make, every time you push past excuses, it adds up. Those small wins stack until they create unstoppable force. Consistency also builds trust, not just trust with others, but trust with yourself. When you show up day after day, even when it's hard, even when you feel exhausted or discouraged, you prove to yourself that you are reliable, committed, and capable. That self-trust is invaluable because your growth depends on your ability to believe in yourself when no one else does. People will notice your consistency. Opportunities will follow your persistence. Doors open not because of chance, but because others see that you are relentless. But here's the reality: being consistent isn't easy. Life will throw challenges at you. Motivation will fade. Excuses will tempt you. You'll feel tired, uninspired, and doubting yourself. That's exactly when consistency matters the most. Success isn't built on days when everything feels easy. It's built on the days when it feels impossible, when giving up seems tempting, and when you push through anyway. Every day you show up despite discomfort, doubt, or fear, you reinforce a pattern that will carry you farther than talent, luck, or timing ever could. Consistency is also about small, deliberate improvements. Showing up doesn't mean blindly repeating the same actions. It means taking action with intention, learning from your results, and adjusting as you go. Every effort teaches you something: what works, what doesn't, and how to get better. By taking consistent, deliberate action, you create a feedback loop that accelerates growth. It's a process of continuous improvement that over time transforms not just your results, but your skills, mindset, and confidence. Another reason consistency is so powerful is that it compounds over time. People underestimate how powerful small, repeated actions can be. Writing 30 minutes a day doesn't seem like much, but over a year, that's hundreds of hours of focused work. Making one sales call a day might feel minor, but over months, it turns into hundreds of opportunities. Exercising consistently, even just a little each day, builds strength, health, and discipline that multiply year after year. Compounding consistency turns ordinary effort into extraordinary outcomes. Ultimately, consistency is a choice. It's the decision to show up even when you don't feel like it. It's the commitment to take action even when you're afraid. It's the refusal to let excuses, fear, or temporary discomfort derail your progress. Success is rarely instantaneous. It's the product of repeated effort over and over again, without shortcuts, without hesitation, and without surrender. Consistency is the bridge between where you are and where you want to go. It's the difference between someone who dreams and someone who achieves. If you want to grow, if you want to succeed, you must commit to showing up consistently. Launch again, take action again, refine again, learn again. Every effort compounds, every step forward builds momentum, and every day you choose consistency brings you closer to the success you deserve. There's no magic, there's no secret formula. There's only showing up again and again until what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. Fear is one of the biggest obstacles standing between you and your success. It's subtle, sneaky, and relentless. Fear tells you to wait, to hesitate, to play it safe. It disguises itself as caution, patience, or reason, but in reality, fear is a thief. It steals your time, your opportunities, and your potential. If you want to grow, if you want to achieve what most people only dream of, you must learn to act despite fear. Fear is not the enemy, inaction is. Acting while afraid is what separates winners from everyone else. Most people think fear disappears when they are ready, but it doesn't. You'll never feel completely ready. You'll never feel completely confident. The truth is, courage is not the absence of fear. It's taking action in spite of it. Every person who has accomplished something meaningful has felt fear. They've felt doubt. They've questioned themselves, their abilities, and the timing. But they acted anyway. That's the difference. Fear is normal. What's abnormal is letting fear control your life. Fear thrives in inaction. Every day you delay, you give fear more power. Every excuse you make, every hesitation you indulge, strengthens the part of you that says, I can't. But when you move, even imperfectly, fear loses its grip. Action shrinks fear. Every step you take, every launch you make, every bold decision erodes its influence. The more you act, the more confident you become, and the less fear can dictate your choices. Courage is a skill you build, just like strength or intelligence, and it's built through repeated action. Another key point is that fear is often rooted in what might go wrong, not what could go right. People focus on the potential failures, the embarrassment, the losses, instead of the opportunities, growth, and wins. This mindset keeps them frozen. But if you flip the perspective, if you see fear as a signal that you're about to grow, that you're stepping outside your comfort zone, then fear becomes a compass pointing you toward progress. Fear isn't meant to stop you. It's meant to guide you to what matters most. The power of acting despite fear compounds over time. Every time you take a bold step, you prove to yourself that fear is not stronger than your will. You build a track record of courage, a history of showing up when it counts, and a mindset that tells you, I am capable, I am relentless, I do not let fear dictate my life. That confidence spills over into every area, your career, your relationships, your personal growth, because fear has less and less control. Fear also teaches you valuable lessons if you face it head on. You learn what truly matters, what challenges are worth pursuing, and what you are capable of handling. Each encounter with fear is a training ground. It strengthens resilience, sharpens decision-making, and prepares you for bigger challenges ahead. The people who succeed are not those who never feel fear. They are those who feel it, confront it, and act anyway. So here's the reality: growth and fear go hand in hand. If you're not scared, if you feel perfectly comfortable, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. You're staying in the safe zone where nothing changes, nothing improves, and nothing grows. True success is found on the other side of fear. Launching live again, taking bold action, showing up despite the voice in your head saying, I can't. That's where transformation happens. Fear is inevitable. Inaction is optional. Courage is a choice. The more you choose to act despite fear, the stronger you become. The more you confront it, the more unstoppable you feel. Fear will always be present, but it does not have to control you. When you decide to act, to launch, to step forward boldly, you send a signal to the world and to yourself: I refuse to be limited. I refuse to wait. I choose growth. Ownership is the foundation of true success. If you want to grow, if you want to achieve something extraordinary, the first thing you must understand is that nobody is responsible for your results but you. Life doesn't hand out trophies for participation. The world doesn't pause for your comfort. Every outcome in your life, good or bad, is the direct result of the choices you make or fail to make. Accepting responsibility for everything that happens in your life is not a burden, it's freedom. Once you take ownership, you regain control, and control is power. Most people fail not because they lack opportunity, talent, or resources, but because they refuse to own their circumstances. They blame the economy, other people, or bad luck. They wait for someone to give them a chance or fix their problems. But blaming external factors is a trap. It keeps you stuck, small, and powerless. When you take ownership, you stop being a victim and start being a creator. You stop waiting for permission and start building the life you want on your terms. Ownership means no excuses. Ownership means no shortcuts. Ownership means you are fully accountable for your actions and your results. Ownership also changes the way you respond to setbacks. When something goes wrong, a person without ownership asks, why me? Who's to blame? A person with ownership asks, what can I do differently next time? How can I take control of this situation? That mindset shifts failure from something to fear into something to learn from. Every mistake, every setback, every challenge becomes fuel for improvement instead of an obstacle to progress. Taking ownership is what allows you to learn faster, adapt quicker, and grow stronger. Another aspect of ownership is decisive action. You cannot grow if you are constantly hesitating, waiting for instructions, or second-guessing yourself. People who take ownership don't wait for conditions to be perfect. They make a decision and commit fully. They step into uncertainty and take responsibility for the outcome. Whatever it may be, that willingness to act decisively, knowing that you are accountable for the results, is what separates leaders from followers, winners from bystanders. Ownership also means being proactive instead of reactive. Life will throw challenges at you, some expected, some not. You can either react passively, letting circumstances dictate your future, or you can anticipate, plan, and take control of your direction. When you own your life, you don't wait for opportunity, you create it. You don't wait for problems to fix themselves, you solve them. You don't wait for others to lead, you take the lead. Proactivity is a natural byproduct of ownership because once you recognize that your life is your responsibility, inaction is no longer an option. Perhaps the most important truth about ownership is that it builds confidence. When you accept that your results are a direct reflection of your effort, skill, and decision making, you begin to trust yourself. You realize that no one else holds the key to your success. You do. That confidence is unshakable. It allows you to make bold moves, take risks, and push past fear because you know that whatever happens, you are equipped to handle it. Every choice you make reinforces your ability to control your life. Every action you take strengthens your self-trust. Ownership is the ultimate empowerment. It turns fear into courage, failure into learning, hesitation into action, and excuses into results. When you take full responsibility for your life, you stop waiting for someone to fix your problems or validate your choices. You become the architect of your future. You realize that success is not something that happens to you. It is something you create every single day through relentless action, accountability, and ownership. Courage is not a luxury, it is a requirement. If you want to grow, if you want to achieve success that lasts, you must learn to act boldly, decisively, and without hesitation. Courage is what separates those who dream from those who do. It's the engine behind every breakthrough, every bold decision, and every meaningful achievement. The truth is, fear will always be present. Doubt will always whisper in your ear. Uncertainty will always be a companion. But courage is what allows you to move forward despite all of it. Many people think courage is the absence of fear, but that's a lie. Courage is taking action even when fear is screaming at you to stop. Courage is doing what others won't, saying what others are afraid to say, and pushing forward when comfort tells you to stay still. Every successful person you admire has felt fear, hesitation, and doubt. They didn't let those feelings control them. They felt them, acknowledged them, and acted anyway. That's how they moved from ordinary to extraordinary. Courage requires action. Thinking about what you could do, planning endlessly, or waiting for the perfect moment is useless if it doesn't lead to action. Action is the only way to prove your courage, not to others, but to yourself. Every step you take outside of your comfort zone, every risk you embrace, every challenge you confront builds confidence and strength. Courage grows like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Each small act of bravery compounds over time, making the next bold move easier and the next even bigger. One of the most powerful aspects of courage is its ability to transform failure into fuel. When you act courageously, you inevitably encounter obstacles. You will fail, make mistakes, and stumble. That is not weakness. That is opportunity. Courage allows you to see failure differently. Every failure is a lesson, every setback is a chance to improve, and every mistake is a step toward mastery. The courageous person doesn't fear failure, they use it. They extract every ounce of insight, adapt, and come back stronger, sharper, and more determined. Courage also demands accountability. It's not enough to act boldly in private. You must also take responsibility for the outcomes of your actions. Courage without accountability is arrogance. It's risk without growth. When you own the results of your bold moves, whether they succeed or fail, you accelerate your development. Courage combined with ownership creates unstoppable momentum. It ensures that you learn faster, grow stronger, and achieve more than you ever thought possible. Another truth about courage is that it inspires action in others. Boldness is contagious. When you act courageously, you set an example. People see your willingness to take risks, to face challenges, and to step into the unknown, and they are inspired to do the same. Your courage doesn't just change your life, it influences the lives of those around you. It creates a ripple effect that multiplies impact far beyond what you initially imagined. Finally, courage is a daily choice. It's not a single heroic moment. It's the small, consistent decisions to act despite fear, to speak up when it's uncomfortable, to take risks when it's risky. Courage is built in the repetition of brave actions over and over again. Each time you choose courage over comfort, fear over hesitation, action over inaction, you strengthen the foundation of your success. The bottom line is this: growth, achievement, and success demand courage. It's the fuel that propels you forward when fear whispers, stop. It's the force that transforms challenges into opportunities and setbacks into lessons. Without courage, nothing happens. With courage, everything becomes possible. Take bold action. Face fear head on. Embrace risk. Speak your truth. Step into the unknown. That is the path to growth, mastery, and ultimate success. Iteration is the key to mastery. Growth doesn't happen in a single attempt, a single launch, or a single effort. Real success is the result of repeatedly trying, learning, adjusting, and improving. The people who achieve extraordinary results don't get it right the first time. They fail, they stumble, they face setbacks, and they do it all over again. They launch, they analyze, they adapt, and then they launch again. That cycle, iteration, is what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck in mediocrity. Every time you take action, you create a feedback loop. The results of that action give you information: what worked, what didn't, what could be better. Most people ignore this feedback or get discouraged by it. They see failure as a stop sign, as proof they shouldn't continue. But iteration teaches you a different truth. Failure is data. Every setback is a lesson. Every mistake is insight. Every challenge is an opportunity to refine your approach. The more you iterate, the faster you grow, the sharper you become, and the closer you get to your goals. Iteration also requires humility. You must accept that you don't have all the answers, that your first attempt won't be perfect, and that growth is a process. Pride and ego are obstacles. They convince you to protect your image, avoid failure, and resist change. But true iteration demands a willingness to admit mistakes, learn from them, and improve. It's about being brutally honest with yourself, taking responsibility for your results, and committing to constant refinement. The more honest you are, the more effectively you can iterate. Another critical element of iteration is speed. The faster you act and the faster you learn, the quicker you improve. Waiting for perfection before launching is the enemy of progress. Every delay is lost opportunity. Launch now, learn, adjust, and launch again. The speed of iteration compounds. The quicker you cycle through attempts, the more lessons you gather, the faster your skill grows, and the closer you get to mastery. Action, feedback, and adjustment are the engine of accelerated growth. Iteration also builds resilience. Each time you try, fail, learn, and improve, you strengthen your ability to handle challenges, setbacks, and uncertainty. The process desensitizes you to fear and doubt, making you bolder and more confident with every cycle. When you embrace iteration, failure loses its power to paralyze you. Instead, you begin to see obstacles as opportunities to refine your approach and grow stronger. That resilience becomes a competitive advantage, because while others give up after one or two failures, you keep moving forward, adapting, and improving. Furthermore, iteration creates momentum. Every small improvement adds up. Every adjustment, no matter how minor, compounds over time into massive results. The key is to focus on the process, not just the outcome. Mastery isn't about one big breakthrough. It's about consistent progress through repeated cycles of action, learning, and adaptation. The cumulative effect of iterative growth is exponential. Small steps repeated consistently lead to transformations that seem impossible at first glance. Finally, iteration reinforces the principle of ownership and accountability. When you iterate, you take responsibility for both your successes and your failures. You don't blame circumstances, luck, or other people. You analyze, adjust, and try again. Iteration teaches you that growth is not random. It is deliberate. It is the product of persistent effort, relentless learning, and unwavering commitment to improvement. The ultimate lesson is clear: success is not linear and perfection is a myth. Growth comes to those who act, fail, learn, and iterate relentlessly. Launch again, adjust, and keep moving forward. Iterate until your results are undeniable, your skills are sharp, and your confidence is unshakable. The path to mastery, wealth, and achievement is paved with repeated action, continuous learning, and relentless iteration. Embrace it, and nothing can stop you. So here's the challenge: launch again, fail. Learn, grow, repeat. Stop waiting for permission, stop waiting for perfect timing, and start proving to yourself that you're unstoppable. Your success isn't a maybe, it's a choice. Make it today, right now.